started recording, so I'll just open the instance and we'll start. I think we left with the two-way matching. I think we saw, but we are yet to see the other processes. Okay,
Yes. Okay.
so what we will see today is that we'll see basically the three-way matching. Okay,
Okay.
and if possible, we'll start with four-way matching, but if not, we'll at least cover the three-way matching. Okay,
Yeah.
so this is what we have planned for today's session. So I'll just take the Excel sheet which we had on the other day. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so I have taken the sheet, so I'll just share my screen. I think this is what we had for
Yes.
our other day's session. Okay, so here what we have seen is that this two-way matching. Okay, so wherein we created this purchase order and then so here we had two scenarios. So one is that matching with the advance or the matching with the prepayment this thing. Okay, so wherein we created the prepayment application matching with the purchase order and then we processed the invoice. I mean the invoicing part we did not process it because the invoice application we know it's the standard feature, so we'll just
Yes.
create the invoice and we will apply with that. But applying or adding or matching this particular purchase order with the prepayment is what we saw. Okay,
Yes.
because in terms of two-way matching, we will have two scenarios. So that is what we saw. One as the normal purchase that we do. Okay, and the other thing is with prepayment. Okay, so this is with respect to two-way matching. So
Okay.
now what we will see is that the three-way matching. So which means that here we will have the requisition, okay, and then we will have the purchase order,
Yeah.
then we will have the receipt, and then the invoice, then the payment. Okay, so this is what we'll cover for today's session. And apart from that, we have this four-way matching. So in the four-way matching, we will see the requisition and then we will see RFQ. So that is our this thing negotiation, basically negotiation with the supplier. And once this negotiation is done with the supplier, so we will give award. So award is nothing but basically selecting one supplier. So probably let's assume that I'm purchasing Dell laptop.
Mm.
So one particular user from this department will request for this item. So perhaps this user or this employee has joined as an intern or something like that. Okay, so now I wanted to allocate laptop, but then I don't have reserve with me, so I will request for this item. Okay, so now it's not that directly I'm going to purchase this Dell laptop. So instead, I will compare with different products that is there in the market and then I'll get the quotation from, let's say, I'll get it from Dell, I'll get it from Lenovo, I'll get it from Asus, so similarly other brands as well. So now I will get this quotation, so which is what we are referring to RFQ. Okay, so now we'll have the quotation in place and we'll have the comparison, and using this comparison we will know that if this is a profit for us or if this is loss for us, so which again system captures in terms of the percentage and in terms of amount. Okay, so
Okay.
now when we do this award to this particular supplier, so this is the place where we see that if I select this supplier, this is my earnings or this is my savings. So once this is awarded, then we will have the purchase order. So the others are same, that is purchase order, receipt, invoice, and the payment part. Okay. So this is the only additional part that we will have. Okay. And apart from this, also we will have the inspection that is carried over here. Okay. So once the inspection is done, then the invoice. So here in this case, it is four-way matching. So which means the document that we'll refer to is matched with four documents. So that is our purchase order, receipt, and inspection and the invoice. So this is three-way matching, which means this is referred with purchase order, receipt, and invoice. Okay, so this is what we are looking at. So we are seeing two-way. So I'll create one requisition. Okay. So when we talk about requisition, so we have two things. So one is that we have the catalog based requisition, and the other one is non-catalog based requisition. So now what exactly is this catalog based requisition, or what is catalog? So catalog is nothing but a category or the item category that we are referring to. Okay, so the group of categories is what we are referring to catalog. So now what could be the item category? So this item category is basically a classification or a specification which identifies the item. So now I'm referring to this laptop. So I'll call this as an electronic item, or I call this as an office equipment. Okay, or probably I'll call this as so whatever the classification that I want to give for this particular item name. Okay, so this is what we are referring to the item category. So now here in the catalog, so we have also option of adding this to our shopping list and all those things. So this we will cover it as part of this four-way matching. So when we create this requisition, so even we can create the smart forms and the other things. Okay.
Okay.
So when we see in this four-way matching, we will cover all those things. So now what we are covering is that, so we'll see what is item category, and we'll see basic of creation of the item and the item class. So we'll not go in detail, but we'll see how these items and the item categories are created. Okay.
Okay.
And then we will see, so two things we will see. So one is that non-catalog. Okay, and then we also will see the catalog based requisition. Okay, so this is what we have planned for today. So I'll just take to the application because the other things we have already seen in the two-way matching. Okay, so
Yes.
I'll just directly go into the application, and now I'll just switch to procurement offering and show you. So what are the additional configurations that we will need? Okay. So on the other day, what we have seen is that the procurement business functions and the related configurations that we will need. Okay, so whatever we have seen, so that is the one that we will need in terms of procurement setup. But apart from this procurement setup, if I'm doing this requisition, so I will also need this requisition business functions and the requisition approvals and all those things. Okay. So these configurations we will see. Okay, so what are the options? So how do we control it? So that is one thing that we will see. And then we'll see the category, and then we'll see how this category is associated with the item. Then we will try to create one requisition and see the flow, that is P2P flow. We'll cover this. Okay. So first thing is this, that is the purchasing foundation. If we go here, so we have something called requisition business function. I think we did not cover this transaction account builder also. So we'll try to cover today. If not, maybe we'll cover as part of this four-way matching. Okay. So the first thing here, if you see, so I think we have something called requisition.
Procurement function foundation.
Yeah, let me just check. Yeah, oh, okay. I clicked purchasing foundation. Okay. I think it is little slow. Let me refresh once.
No problem.
Okay, so I'll switch to procurement. So this is the one. Yeah, so it is here. Okay, so this is the one. Okay, so the business unit that we used is Supremo US business unit. Okay, so I'll just select this and say okay. So now this will give us certain controls that we can do in terms of setup for the requisition business unit. Okay, so for example, if I want to, if I'm creating this requisition from this one, so this particular business unit. Okay, so then what should be the business unit if I convert this requisition into purchase order? Okay, so that mapping that we are giving it here. Okay, so the other options are understandable. So this deliver to location. So this is nothing but to which org or with to which inventory that we are delivering. Okay, so this is the one. So I'm not changing this organization. So let me have this as it is, and we'll try to create one transaction. Okay,
Okay.
and this again, yeah. Okay, so this again we saw so on the other day, so how to create the line type and all those things. So whatever we create there, it could be the goods, it could be the service, or it could be the fixed price, or if I want to weekly billing, or if I want to hourly billing, so everything I can create. So basically, what I will have here in terms of line type is that, so I will have one is that matching option I can do it, okay, and the other one is that I can default certain options, okay. So that is what about the line type. So in this case, so anyway, we can override if I enter or create new requisition line, okay. But
Yes.
then this particular thing that I'm using is only for the purpose of defaultation, okay. And then we can group, I mean, we can import the requisition. So now if I'm importing this requisition, so how this will be grouped, whether it's based on item or how should I group is what we are referring. Okay. So that is about it. And then if I want to create the purchase order, so I'll have to enable this feature. And for change order approval, I can enable this feature. Okay. And then this is for the buyer modify lines. So if I'm modifying lines, so then whether the approval is required or not. So these are the options. So primarily these are basically for what transaction I need to have the approval process in place. Okay. And then others are like the tolerance and this thing. Okay. And this is nothing but the default ship to location that I can have it. Okay. Okay, so I'll just say save and close. So have you seen this one, the unit of measure and unit of
Yeah.
measure conversion?
Yes.
Seen, right?
Yes.
Okay, fine. Okay, so maybe the most of the configurations that is required for the requisition, so that we have seen it already. So what I will do is that so I'll go to the requisition screen and we will create one approval rule. Okay, because in the approval, so we have seen this thing. So wherein if I want to create the approval based on my supervisory, so this is again similar to the finance, but as an option we have. So if I want to give the user directly, so I can give, or if I want to give this as an supervisory, so that I can give, or if I want to give this as an approval group, I can do that. Okay, and then if I want to set it up as based on the position, so for position and the other things, I will need position and the job hierarchy. So I will need the HR module to be implemented. Okay, but apart from that, if I want to add the other components, I can do it here. Okay, only for that I'll need the HCM module, but that will not be able to see. But these components will see. Okay, yeah. So I will say this is approval management and the requisition approval. Okay. Okay, so I'll just say edit and we'll create one tool. So here maybe we will use the auto approval first. Okay. So because I think this approval group we have seen it, so probably the supervisory, I'm not sure we have seen it. So if not, we can see that also. Okay. So this auto approval, I'll write in a way that if this is less than this amount, I want to do. It's a standard condition that we can use. Okay. But apart from that, if I want to give the other condition, so let's say I wanted to give based on the cost center, so then I can give it. So here I'll be able to handle through the cost center. Okay, so if this department is raising this request, I can say this is the cost center, then route it to this particular approval. Okay, so I can do that. But here I think we have, I'm not sure if I defined it, but we have it. So let me just try to open this, because if this is within the amount, then no, this is not with amount. So let me just define one. So I defined one with the amount, but I'm not sure if that is with the purchase order or this one. Okay, so I'll just say this is auto approval and I'll say below 1000. Okay, so this is the rule I'm writing. Okay, so here I can add the condition. So the condition that I'm writing is if the amount, let's say if it is document amount. Okay, this is not document. So there is a column called document total. So that is in the purchase order. So similarly, here we have this column to derive the total amount of this requisition line. Okay. So I'll see if we can get it. Else we'll write based on the creator.
Okay.
Yeah, requisition amount. So this is the one. So I'll say that the requisition amount, if it is more than, or sorry, it's not more than, it is lesser than. So I'll say less than 1,000, which means that it should be auto upload. Okay, so this is the condition that we are writing. So okay, okay. So I'll just add the action. So here, instead of saying approval required, so I'll just say automatic so that this will be automatically approved. So user will not be needed in case of this approval. Okay. So I'll say okay, and I'll save this rule that we have created, and I'll just deploy this because unless I deploy this, this will not take effect. So I'll deploy it, and then what we will do is that so we'll create one category and we'll see how to attach it with the item. Okay. So for this demonstration, I will use the inventory organization 410. Okay, so that is one, that is the one that we will take. Okay, and then we will see how this item class and the item category is defined there. Okay, so probably we'll try to create one item also, and because we wanted to look at two things, so one is with catalog and without catalog. So
Okay.
with catalog we will have to define this particular item. Okay, so I'll just create one with this. Yeah, so meanwhile, so I'll just check if the roles are assigned also. So we will need this buyer role, and also we will need this one, um, the procurement preparer. Okay, so I'll just add both the roles. I think the instance is a bit slow, so it's loading for long actually.
Yeah.
So, yeah, so maybe after this we should be able to see that screen because once we deploy, so then we have these setups. Okay, so once this two things are done, so then we can check this flow, but then
Okay.
the instance is very slow.
Yeah. Meanwhile, I have a question.
Yeah.
Uh, these products item,
Okay.
are we that will initiate from product management, or if there is no product management is subscribed, then okay, we will use it directly in purchase, right? That's the way it
Correct.
works, right?
Correct.
Okay.
So if the product management is not subscribed, so we will have to just create the category
Mm.
and we will have to use this description column to capture whether it is it could be the item or it could be the service. Or we'll just enter the details in the description column and we'll specify this is the category and then the regular thing will have the quantity and the price.
But in purchase, okay, we will have both the catalog and category, or we will have only category that will be grouped as a catalog.
Correct. It will be grouped as catalog. So we will have the category, and this category is what we will group it as a catalog. So it could be
Mm.
the purchased item or it could be the asset item. So so that's the grouping that we can bring in.
Okay. So this catalog category and in B2B catalog category, both are different, or
Yeah,
it's
so that catalog and category, what we are referring to is the shopping list and the smart
yeah.
form. So that is, so there you'll have the local categories or the catalogs. So that
Okay.
is basically if I know this is my regular purchase that I will do. So what I can do is that, so I
Mm.
can build my own category. So it will be something like this farm. So wherein this will say that this is my let's say
Mm.
office supplies and the second thing that it will say that this is my rental payment or something like that or this third tile will tell me the other categories so
Okay.
this we can build it
Mm.
so this basically we will have this configured in a way that this category is linked with the item. So that is what we are referring to the catalog based item. Okay. And now this will be added as an item when we create the requisition. But this category that we are referring to in the purchasing module. So this is nothing but this purchasing category. So this
Mm.
is for the purpose of identifying the line item. So whether this is miscellaneous item that we are dealing with, or this is the raw material, or this is finished good that we are referring to. So that is different from this. So this catalog is basically about the specifications in terms of. So this is something related to the Amazon where if we go, so we will have this categorization. So now if I break down this categorization, so under electronics I'll have the laptop. So under laptop I'll have multiple products. So it is similar to that. So I can even, so it's the same exact thing that we can replicate here. So on top we can set it up as electronic and now I can bring down the child values. So using the hierarchy. So we can even set up the category hierarchy. So using this hierarchy, we can build this thing. So this is what we are looking at in the requisition screen. But this we will not be able to do it in the purchase order or the procurement screen.
Mm.
So this catalog, what we are referring to, is only to the screen of requisition.
Mm. Internal it is. Okay.
Yeah, correct. Um, any other question? Because I think there should be some maintenance activity that should be going. So maybe if you have any question, we can discuss.
Okay, okay. Yeah, I have one question on not in procurement, but on
Okay.
general ledger.
Okay.
Uh, okay. See, when we are creating chart of accounts, okay,
Yeah.
we create segments and then okay, the structure we create.
Yeah.
Okay, in creating structure, okay, without deploying it, is there a
Okay.
way to create structure instance?
Yes, structure instance can be created even without deploying.
How?
I mean, this chart of accounts we can create. Chart of account creation is one screen,
Mm,
and then we can so in the same screen if we see so there is something called chart of account instance. So we
mm,
can create it, and then finally we can deploy it. So it's not that once I create the structure I'll have to deploy. So when we deploy, so this is going to check the entire instance. So meaning if I have probably four chart of accounts for the four countries that I'm operating, so now system is going to check all four chart of account structure and all four chart of account instances. Or probably let's say I have eight more secondary ledgers. So in this case, it is going to check all the four plus four. 8 and then 16 all the 16 structure instance and the structures are going to be checked here.
mm,
So it is at the global level the deployment has been carried over. So even in the test instance if you see, so
mm,
if we deploy it, if there is any issue in some other chart of accounts, it could be some issue in terms of giving one segment or probably giving without value set or something
mm.
like that. So even
You know,
that, yeah,
my question is okay. Uh, Structure is global, and based on the structure, okay, we can create multiple instances. That's fine, but
okay,
generally, okay, we deploy that structure. Then from that structure, okay, we create multiple instances. That
correct.
that is what my understanding. But how without deployment, how we create that? I was not clear.
No, deployment meaning that it is just a validation that whatever the setup that we have created, it is correct. If
Mm,
it is in two different screens, wherein for structure, if we have deployment process, and then if I have to go to a separate screen to create the instance, and then again there if we have this deployment process, then these are two different activities. But here the purpose of having structure and instance in the same screen is that so I don't have any dependency in terms of deploying the chart of account structure first and then I'll have to come to this instance. So
mm,
I can create this in so basically the way system will understand is that so if I create this chart of account structure, so which system will understand this as a draft setup that I have created in the system. So
mm,
now if I create second one, that is my chart of account instance. So
mm,
this becomes again the draft setup in the system. So now if I deploy this instance,
mm.
so instance meaning as a whole I'm saying, so both the structure and the instance. So
Okay.
it is going to pick both the structure and the instance as a whole and processing it. It's not going to check only for the structure or this thing.
Okay, so that means when I'm creating an instance and
Okay.
at a level, okay, I'm creating my instance. This is what my instance, and I'm attaching that what do you call structure also, whatever
Okay.
the global structure in
Yeah.
the instance. But after that, okay, when I saved it, it's supposed to show the edit button to add segments, right?
Correct. I mean, in
Then,
the instance, we will not have option to add the segments, right? So we'll have only option to either mark it as required or we'll just
yeah,
leave.
right. Yeah, for that option is not enabled for me in one of my testing. That's what.
The editing option.
Yeah, editing option.
Mm, no,
Apart
even
from, okay, go ahead.
no, even for this, we don't have any role or anything as such to control it. So
Yeah.
probably if we try to log out and log in,
Mm.
and then if we try to click this pencil icon to edit it, we should be able to see it. So if we couldn't see it, so probably it should be in bug actually,
Yeah.
because the standard feature is this, it will
Yeah.
allow us
Yeah.
to.
It's a normal one. It's routine
Yeah.
one, and I used to do. In one of the cases, okay, I had this problem, but that's
Okay.
why. Mm. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
other one is on mapping.
Okay.
On mapping, when in case of range, which one we will use? Which option we'll use?
So if we want to use the range, then we will have to use this roll up. Okay, so
Okay.
using roll up, I can say this is my target account, and for this target account, I can say between these accounts.
Okay.
But here it is the free field that I can enter.
Mm-hmm.
So we should make sure that we give the actual account, because if I give some other account which will not actually work in the same way, so
Uh,
you'll have to give equal to and get the exact account, and then we can say the between and give the exact account from and to.
Yeah, that time when I'm giving that, okay, that's a free field, and there is no what do you call list of values
Correct.
or the validation. So we'll have to give exactly what is there in that respective chart of accounts, right?
Correct.
Okay, okay, okay. And in case, okay, if we want to say like balance sheet account is this is the cost center and balance sheet
Okay.
accounts like that, where we can map.
So balance sheet account is the cost center.
Is that a
Um,
condition?
yeah, okay, okay. So this we can give it. I mean, again the same roll up. So if you see here on the left hand side, so probably if you are
I don't
using
see
the
your
US.
screen. You're showing any screen?
No, I mean mine is actually it's not working.
Yeah.
I'm not
Yeah.
sure if
Okay.
this
Okay.
is
Okay.
under
Right. Right.
maintenance.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
don't have instance with me. So I'm just explaining. So if we see, so we will have this roll up group. So under this roll up group, if we see, so we will have this target account. So this target account is what is referred as the balance sheet account.
Mm,
Okay. So that is 000, I think. So that is the account that will give it here. Okay. So if this is the target account, and then what are the range accounts that I will have to give? So
okay.
that I will specify here in the cost center. It could be starting from one series. So let's
Mm,
say if this is from 1 000, so
mm,
till but let's say 1 999. So then I can say between this 1 000 and 1 999 will be mapped with this balance sheet account. So I can do this mapping here. So
mm,
now if this is my parent account, this 000. So 000 is not actually the parent account, but let's
mm,
assume that I have marked this as a parent account. So
mm.
meaning whatever the transaction that is created here, so this will automatically be rolled up to this particular this account, which we are
Okay.
referring to the balance account, balance sheet account.
Mm. So there itself we can define the cost center also. Zero
Yeah, yeah.
zero.
Yeah, there itself we can see. So above, so all we will have to do is that, so we will have the list of segments as per
Mm,
our chart of account. So on top we will have either it is the cost center or the account. So if
mm,
we want to give it the cost center, then we'll have to select the cost center, and here in the roll up rules we can write this.
mm, mm. Okay. Because even if you give range, since it's a open field,
Yeah,
if that particular account is not there in the chart of accounts, it will not allow to save, right?
yeah, yeah, yeah. So
Okay. 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 No problem. Thanks.
no issues.
Okay. We'll connect tomorrow then.
Yeah, sure. Because I think this is under this thing. So without system, we will not be able to see. So maybe we can connect tomorrow.
Okay. At what time?
Uh, time. What would be your convenient time? Maybe.
See, if you say
Uh,
in I'll be ready. Yeah. If you
okay.
say
So
8 or 9 or whatever, maybe. If you
yeah.
say once, okay, I will be ready. No problem.
Maybe we'll fix the 9 p.m.
Right.
India time.
Okay.
Okay. So we'll connect by 9.
Okay. Right. I'll be transferring the fees tomorrow. Right.
Okay. Okay. No issues.
Okay. Right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks.